Well, welcome back here with us on Money, Money, Money. And today we are having this debate on the Finfluencer regulation issue. What is literally the way forward? Now, Mohit Gang, who of course is an RIA, registered investment advisor, he's been listening to the panel very, very patiently. So, Mohit, let's start with your view. Now, we've heard in the last couple of weeks, we've really heard the Finfluencer community say that, look, registering as an RIA is too difficult. You are registered as one already. You tell us if that's true or not, and what's the problem?
Okay, so you are firing the bullet right at me, Surabhi. Thank
Absolutely.
you very much for having me back on the Money Money show. Look, I won't mince my words on that. I think RIA is an extremely onerous regulation. If you want to set up like a corporate entity, then the regulations are fairly stringent. You have to have a minimum net worth of 50 odd lakhs, and then there are fee charging rules around it. Every proper thing, every proper advice, everything which you speak has to be digitally recorded, has to have a client consent. You have to maintain records, physical and digital both. You have to go through audits. You can charge only a particular amount of fee, so on and so forth. And the regulations are endless. There are certain set of regulations around advertisements. There are certain set of regulations around disclosures, what you can show on your website, what font you can show, what color you can show. You have to show the number of complaints, and you have to register at scores. And now there is a different platform called ODR to be registered. So it's endless. It's an endless set of regulation. And my view on this always has been very uniform, Surabhi. I think I kind of want to take the middle path here, which means that not every advisor can be categorized or branded as under the same label. And I'll just take a minute to explain this. There are advisors who do derivatives, there are advisors who do stock advisory, and then there are advisors who do only mutual fund advisory and products like maybe deposits or bonds or few other things, right? And I think the regulator somewhere needs to classify and categorize these into different entities and bucket them into different brackets, and perhaps have some differentiating laws around it. A person who is just doing a mutual fund advisory and giving you allocations across different categories of mutual funds, maybe debt and equity mutual funds, and simultaneously giving you some deposits or some sovereign gold bonds, I don't think so he can be labeled and categorized under the same set of rules as a derivative or a stock advisory guy. And I think the problem overall is emanating from the fact that these regulations have been uniform, and the kind of discrepancies which one sees on social media handles of people outbursting and giving you trading calls and all those option master classes, so on and so forth, has been more related and pertinent with one set of people who do more of trading and stock advisory. So I
Got it.
think painting all of them with the same brush is where the problem is coming from. You can very well have differentiating criterias and therefore have differentiating rules, and make it a little easier for people who just want to give you personal finance and perhaps, let's say, mutual
Sure.
fund kind of things.
Got it. I think that ties in with the point that Rachana was making earlier, that if some people are sort of, going about these slightly quote-unquote shady activities, you don't sort of throw the baby out with the bathwater. But Rachana, let's come down to then brass tacks, the nuts and bolts. Now, right now, you can register as a RIA, registered investment advisor. You can register as a research analyst if you want to do stock advisory. So two categories are available. Do they work for the present set of influencers? Is that not fair? And if not, then why not?
So first of all, I think again going back to the objective of this paper, which mentions that it restricts the association of SEBI registered intermediaries or regulated entities with unregistered influencers. So I personally feel here point number one is it should not be only unregistered influencers, it should be unregistered entities including influencers who should be brought under the ambit of this registration. Because if people are delivering content, it is not necessary that it will be only through YouTube or through Instagram. On television, it could be through other areas as well. So if rules were to be made, they should be made for all. That is the first point that I want to make. Second thing is, should we be registering as an RIA? So I personally feel this is not applicable. Reason is very simple. Now, if I were to go to the RIA regulations, it very clearly mentions that the term investment advisor is defined in the IA regulations, which means any person who for consideration is engaged in the business of providing investment advice, la la la. So we as finance content creators, we don't charge any person for putting out whatever content that we are putting out. So I personally feel investment advisor is not applicable to a majority of finance influencers. If you are giving one-on-one advice, then definitely any unregistered entity should have an RIA in place, right? Second one, the point that you asked is about research analyst. Now, if we were to go to the definition of research analyst, it is very clearly mentioned that it means a person who is primarily responsible for preparation or publication of contents of research report, providing research report, making buy, sell, hold recommendations, giving target price, and offering an opinion concerning public offer. Now, I feel again, if there are certain finance content creators who are making buy, sell, hold recommendations, they need to be registered as RA. If I'm just putting out statistical summaries of certain topics, then it does not fall under the buy, sell, hold recommendation. If I'm giving price targets, I should be registered as RA. If I'm not, I should not be.
Okay.
Now, one point is a problematic area here. What it means that if you are providing a research report, still you will be considered as a research analyst. And for that, I tried to check what is the meaning of research report. In that, it is again clearly mentioned that it could be a written communication or it could be also electronic communication. Both are covered. But this also specifically says that what things are not included in the research report. Now, if I'm giving general trends about securities market, that is not a research report. So no need for RA. If I'm giving discussion about broad-based indices, not a research report. If I'm giving commentaries on economical, political, market conditions, not a research report. Important, I feel, if one more point, technical analysis, because a lot of content creators do give out content about technical analysis. Here it is mentioned that technical analysis relating to demand and supply in a sector or the index, that is also not considered as a research report.
Sure.
There is an FAQ, also question number 5, if I'm not mistaken, which says that if you are giving buy, sell, hold call after doing technical analysis, then that will be considered as a research report.
Okay.
Okay, but if you're not giving that, still it will not be considered as a research report.
Got it. So,
and my final point, because this is very crucial. It says that if you are giving statistical summaries of financial data of the companies, it is not considered as a research report. So just as an example, if I'm doing a statistical summary for a specific company, I'm putting out a video about an automobile stock. What am I doing? I'm doing a 10 to 12 minute video considering the annual report, considering the management discussion and analysis, considering the phone calls, considering the quarterly analysis, and I'm just putting that as a statistical summary. That is not included as a research report.
So this is interesting. No, Rachana, this is interesting because right now you're quoting from current regulation. I mean, what is the current definition of a RIA or a RA, research analyst? And you're saying that it's a lot of it doesn't prohibit. So perhaps, one needs to look deeper in the details and then see what's allowed and what's not. Let me come back to the finance industry professionals as we start wrapping up. Swarup, earlier Rachana made the point that, this is not consideration. Any Finfluencer is not taking money from the audience to give out that piece of content, which got me thinking this is very more similar to MFDs and mutual fund distributors, because distributors don't charge us, for the advice that they give. They are getting compensated from the mutual fund houses. So then is there a category to open up? Is there a reason to open up that category as well, that if you want to talk mutual funds and you want to suggest on mutual funds, somewhere it's like MFD, and then do the disclosures and you can be a social media MFD, if that makes any sense.
Mohit is on the show, and I'll speak on behalf of the RIA community also. RIAs are supposed to take money from the investor.
Yes.
How many RIAs actually take money from the investor is a big question I'm asked of, right? So let's keep that aside. I mean, coming to the main debate, is that should they be registered? Yes, they should be registered. Now, at this moment, in the discussion paper, there are 2-3 avenues. I always believe that the discussion will continue and things will evolve. When you look at the whole, the environment under which this entire thing sort of operates, everybody sort of comes into every area. Everybody is a research analyst in some way. Everybody is a mutual fund predictor in some way. Everybody is on the social media. I'm making a very general statement, okay? Hence, one has to clamp down in some way of getting them into the entire environment. Now, registration at the beginning of the discussion was, should it be easy? Try becoming a distributor for selling soaps or anything from a large FMCG company. Is it easy? No, it's not. And we are talking about selling fiduciary responsibilities here. As the money starts growing bigger and bigger, these processes will become tougher as we go. The way we used to register as an AMC in 1999 or 1998 is not the same as we registered in 2023. And that's how it should be. Because it is, again, coming back to that same point, it is somebody else's hard-earned money. And when we are doing that, these processes have to be stringent, and there will be no separate sort of thing. The law will be one for everybody, is the way law works. And that's true. I can't say that, one mutual fund has done something wrong, hence why am I being penalized? It doesn't work like that. Let's be very clear with that. And that's the environment, and we should be very clear of that environment.
Sure, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Got that. Last word with Gagan. Gagan, we have 10 seconds literally left on the show.
Completely
from a
agree
broker
with
standpoint, I
Yeah.
mean, considering that so many people want to get into DIY trading, we want to do our own stocks, we want to buy new securities, what's the way forward?
I completely agree with Swarup in the sense that all of us lock our houses because 0.1% people are thieves. So we cannot go with the fact that it has to be differentiated, right? And we cannot differentiate also. Everybody has to lock. So we have to do it so strongly. In the context, if you see, nobody can offer any incentive to open Demat account. It appears very, very strong law, but all of us follow that, right? So in the context of the laws that we follow right now in broking, this is a very, very, not a very strong law. The kind of laws we follow right now, even more stringent.
Okay.
So in my view, completely kind of look at it as a positive step.
Got that, gentlemen. Thank you very much. I think the debate is still wide open. We haven't seen the official regulations just yet. So we'll wait by for that. Hopefully our viewers will also be very aware and keep watching this space. And Mohit, I don't know, RIA is a separate show, is a separate debate. And I think we'll have you and Swarup back for that one very soon as well. Thank you very much for joining in. It's a wrap on the show. Really appreciate your time. And thank you, viewers, for tuning in as well.